You finally sit down to get some actual work done, you check your phone for just a split second, and boom, suddenly you've burned 45 minutes watching videos of people pressure washing driveways. We've all been there, right? Well, welcome to this explainer. Today we're taking a super fast-paced look at exactly why our modern digital habits are absolutely destroying our focus, and, way more importantly, how we're going to fix it. If you've been feeling scattered, overwhelmed, or just completely drained of motivation lately, well, you are in the exact right place.
So let's be totally honest for a second. Do you feel like you literally can't focus on a single thing for more than 5 minutes? Are you constantly checking, swiping, refreshing? It's like you sit down to tackle one task, your phone buzzes, you glance at an email, and suddenly you're endlessly scrolling a feed, and half an hour is just gone. Poof. Actually, recent studies show the average person switches screens every 47 seconds. Think about that. Our collective attention spans are basically competing with goldfish at this point. That chaotic feeling of your attention bouncing around like a pinball inside your head? Yeah, that is the modern condition.
And hey, you definitely aren't alone in feeling this way. The symptoms of this focus crisis are literally everywhere. We're talking about constant notifications constantly interrupting your train of thought, that endless doom scrolling that just leaves you feeling completely empty, and that heavy, persistent brain fog. I really want to be clear about something here. These aren't just minor annoyances of modern life. They are actively killing your dopamine baseline. They are basically draining your mental battery before you even really start your day.
So, how are we tackling this? Today, we are covering 4 key areas. 1. The modern focus crisis. 2. The dopamine trap explained. 3. The 24-hour reset protocol. And 4. Finding balance through Legum.
All right, let's dive right into part 1, the modern focus crisis, why your brain is overwhelmed.
Now, to really grasp what's going on, understanding the concept of your dopamine baseline is absolutely crucial. This is the foundational level of dopamine that's just naturally circulating in your brain. Think of it as the core engine of your daily motivation. But here's the problem. Because of the constant, unyielding stimulation of our modern digital environment, that baseline is getting severely depleted. We are burning through our reserves like crazy. And when that baseline drops, well, your drive, your energy, and your ability to just sit and focus, they drop right along with it.
Moving right along to Section 2, the dopamine trap explained, the neurological toll.
So there is this stark neurological battle happening in your head right now. On one side of the ring, we have cheap dopamine. This is the endless scrolling, the constant pings, those immediate but totally hollow rewards. It's unearned, right? It spikes your dopamine instantly, but then it just crashes your system. On the flip side is earned satisfaction. This is what comes from deep work and intentional effort. Think about that amazing feeling of finally finishing a really difficult chapter of a book or completely crushing a grueling workout. That's the real neurological reward you get from actual accomplishment. The core crisis we face today is that we've essentially traded the deep, lasting fulfillment of earned satisfaction for the fleeting, exhaustive hits of cheap dopamine.
Which brings us to Section 3, the 24-hour reset protocol, your actionable blueprint. Okay, this is where we get highly tactical. We are looking at a 3-step protocol here. Step 1, the 24-hour tech fast. Step 2, deep work environment engineering. And Step 3, the power of boredom. We aren't just throwing around generic feel-good advice here. This is a rigorous, strict, but entirely achievable 24-hour blueprint designed to completely reset your brain.
Let's break these down, starting with Step 1, the 24-hour tech fast. Now listen closely, because this doesn't just mean putting your phone on silent while you eat dinner. Oh no. This means completely disconnecting from digital stimuli for a full 24 hours to rapidly reset your brain. You've got to take a strict, highly intentional break from the endless feed. And 24 hours? That is the magic number here, because it actually forces your brain to confront its withdrawal symptoms, which is what makes this fast so incredibly effective. It's a hard, non-negotiable cutoff designed to shock your system out of its reliance on all that cheap dopamine.
Next up is Step 2, deep work environment engineering. Okay, so once you've actually completed the fast, you need to curate a physical workspace that strictly prevents digital distraction from creeping right back in. It's all about physically removing the temptation of cheap dopamine from your immediate surroundings. Think about it. If your phone isn't sitting right there on your desk, you simply can't mindlessly grab it, right? You are literally engineering your physical space to protect your deep, sustained focus.
And then we hit Step 3, which, honestly, might be the hardest one for us to accept nowadays. The power of boredom. You have to allow your brain to experience absolute zero input. Nothing. Nada. I know, we actively avoid boredom like the plague at all cost, but leaning into this counterintuitive science is just vital. Here's a super fascinating fact. When you are truly bored, your brain's default mode network kicks in. And that is exactly when the heavy lifting of problem solving, creativity, and actual mental recovery happens. Your brain desperately needs boredom to spark that neurological recovery and restore that depleted dopamine baseline we talked about. So sitting quietly and doing absolutely nothing, that is actually highly productive work for a recovering mind.
Finally, let's look at Section 4, Finding Balance Through Logam, Sustainable Focus.
To guide us in keeping this up long-term, we can look to two really brilliant Scandinavian philosophies. First is hygge, which represents this wonderful, cozy contentment and well-being. And second is lagom, which perfectly translates to not too much, not too little, simply the perfect balance. Adopting these philosophies proves that maintaining a healthy dopamine baseline isn't about, forever denying yourself technology or modern conveniences. Nobody wants that. It's about sustainable balance. It's about finding that exact sweet spot where you control your technology rather than letting it control you.
I want you to really remember this quote. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being intentional. That right there is the beating heart of this entire explainer. The goal isn't to demand some flawless, robot-like behavior from you forever. The real goal is to spark intentional lifestyle changes. It's about making that crucial shift from just blindly reacting to your environment to actively choosing how you spend your attention.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought and a bit of a challenge. Are you ready to actually simplify your life this weekend? Are you ready to execute this 24-hour reset protocol and finally reclaim your mind from the dopamine trap? I challenge you to take this coming weekend, step away from the glowing rectangles, embrace the sheer power of a little boredom, and just see what happens to your motivation when you aren't being constantly stimulated. The blueprint is right here in front of you. The choice to use it? Well, that's completely yours.